According to the 2017 report of the United Nations on Food Security and Nutrition in the World, multiple forms of malnutrition are threatening the health of millions of people worldwide. The report pointed out that agriculture plays a very important role in ensuring food security and improving nutrition and health for human beings. Therefore, to fully promote that role of agriculture, in recent years, the Consultative Group on International Agriculture Research, or CGAR, has coordinated with a number of organizations to carry out the CGAR research program on agriculture for nutrition and health, or A4NH.
Cái mục tiêu chính của chương trình là dùng những cái bằng chứng và những cái số liệu mới trong nông nghiệp và sức khỏe để xây dựng nên các cái chiến lược và các cái giải pháp cải thiện về dinh dưỡng và sức khỏe cho những cái người nghèo ở các nước đang phát triển trên thế giới. Ví dụ như ở Việt Nam thì chúng tôi quan tâm rất nhiều đến vấn đề an toàn thực phẩm, là một chủ đề rất là nóng, và chúng tôi muốn tìm ra thêm những cái bằng chứng để khuyến cáo cho những cái nhà hoạch định chính sách tìm ra những cái giải pháp quản lý an toàn thực phẩm tốt cho Việt Nam chúng ta.
Đây là một chương trình về nông nghiệp cho dinh dưỡng và sức khỏe của rất nhiều các cái tổ chức tham gia. Viện Dinh dưỡng thì với vai trò là đối tác của chương trình này thì chúng tôi cũng đã góp phần xây dựng rất nhiều các cái database và các cơ sở dữ liệu để cung cấp bằng chứng khoa học cho các nhà hoạch định chính sách để xây dựng các cái chính sách ở Việt Nam. Chúng tôi rất mong rằng cái sự thúc đẩy từ cái việc tham gia hội nhập cái chương trình này thì chúng ta cũng sẽ có cái sự thúc đẩy nhất định để đưa cái bức tranh dinh dưỡng cũng như là bức tranh sức khỏe của người Việt Nam và cũng như là bức tranh của ngành nông nghiệp sẽ có một cái sự thay đổi nhất định.
Vietnam is among the 5 A4NH focus countries. In Vietnam, under the coordination of the International Center for Tropical Agriculture, CIAT, the A4NH program is divided into two phases. Phase 1 started in 2012 and ended in 2016 with remarkable results. Efforts are being made to conduct Phase 2 from 2017 to 2022 with new expectations. Hello and welcome to this edition of Sharing Vietnam on VTC TV channel. As you know, food safety and hygiene is currently a pressing issue in Vietnam. That's why, in recent years, the CGAR research program on agriculture, on nutrition and health, or the A4NH program for short, has been carried out in Vietnam. In today's program, we are honored to have a conversation with Mr. John McDermott, Director of A4NH program, to learn more about the activities of this meaningful program. So first of all, thank you, Mr. John McDermott, for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Okay, so to begin with, could you please give us more detailed information on the A4NH program?
It's a partnership of a number of key institutions that have come together that are interested in improving human nutrition and human health through different agricultural practices. So this partnership aspect is very important because we're trying to coordinate between a lot of different types of research institutions who have a lot of capacity. There's one main stream of research that looks at how we can improve the quality of diets, make diets healthier for people. And that has a lot of research on the kind of supply of nutritious foods, looking at how consumers consider foods and how they eat them. And the other is on the kind of quality and safety of those foods. The other stream is really looking at how do we help governments and large program implementers to make their programs for improving nutrition or improving health that are linked to agriculture more effective and help them to implement them better.
As far as I know, the A4NH program is divided into a few phases. So what are the achievements of the first phase from 2012 to 2016?
We had some important accomplishments in the first 5 years. We have about 2 billion people in the world who have low levels of vitamin A, iron, and zinc. And that's one of the biggest nutrition problems in the world. So one is we have a large program that's trying to improve the nutritious quality of staple foods like rice. And in that, we're trying to get higher levels of micronutrients. So we've been very good at breeding crops which have higher levels of these minerals and vitamins, delivering them and showing that when people eat them, they have improved nutritional status, and working out how to work with partners on how to deliver them. So that's been an important accomplishment. We've also done a lot of work on rigorous evaluations of programs that look at how governments can use agriculture and social programs to improve nutrition. And we have a lot of results on how they can do those programs and how they can implement them better. And then we also have a lot of work that works with governments to understand how policies and investments can be targeted to improve nutrition through other sectors like agriculture, like social development, like water and sanitation.
According to experts, in Phase 2 from 2017 to 2022, CGAR will focus on addressing the food safety challenges in Vietnam. So what should be done in the coming time in order to realize that goal?
There's lots of international programs for good agricultural practice, for global food safety, and so those are well understood, and there's lots of advice that Vietnam is getting. For us in the CGR, we're very worried about how ordinary people participate in markets, either as consumers or producers. And in Vietnam, it's good because you have lots of fresh foods, which are very important for nutrition, but they're also perishable. And so, in a sense, that's where we have to look a lot at food safety. And they're delivered by millions and millions of farmers, tens of thousands of small market agents who work in wet markets. And so we want to work with those groups, especially with the market agents, to see how to improve their hygiene. So we've built in training programs and certification programs so that consumers can have confidence as Vietnam develops. Those informal markets will shrink a little bit, they'll become more formalized, and then we'll have to evaluate how those market agents participate.
During the implementation of the A4HN program, foreign scientists all agree that Vietnam has a diverse food system and healthy diets. In an effort to raise consumers' awareness of food origin and traceability, the A4HN research group has enabled Vietnamese consumers to raise their voices and ask producers to be responsible for the quality and safety of their food. Nowadays, Vietnamese people tend to prefer modern food distribution channels like supermarket and convenience store to the traditional market. The A4HN researchers expect that such positive changes will make significant contributions to improving the value of Vietnamese agricultural products in the international market.
You see customers that have a little bit more money to spend and that prefer to go to supermarkets because the belief is that in the supermarket the foods are more safe than on the wet market. I mean, also you see in the fresh vegetables that they have the Viet Gap seal, which give a little bit more confidence on the safety of food. Than in the fresh market or in the wet market. So that could be one choice of customers to go to supermarkets.
Trong cái quan hệ đối tác lần này thì các cơ quan làm việc về nông nghiệp sẽ làm việc chặt chẽ với các đối tác về nghiên cứu về sức khỏe ở Việt Nam, ví dụ như là Viện Dinh dưỡng Quốc gia, ví dụ như là Trường Đại học Y tế Công cộng. Thì đây là chúng tôi đang muốn phối hợp và tổ chức cái cách tiếp cận một sức khỏe One Health để giải quyết vấn đề nông nghiệp, dinh dưỡng và sức khỏe khi mà những cái nhà nghiên cứu nông nghiệp làm việc rất là mật thiết với những nhà nghiên cứu bên y tế.
Recently, CGAR had a working session with its partners to figure out solutions for more effective collaboration with market agents and farmers in the supply chain. That's better ensuring nutrition and food safety and hygiene in Vietnam. At the event, the participating organizations made predictions about the likely changes in the food system of Vietnam in the future. From the CGIAR preliminary research, what are your comments on the agriculture, on nutrition and health in Vietnam?
We're really excited to be working in Vietnam because you have a very unique food culture, and it's a very healthy food culture. You eat a lot of vegetables, you eat a lot of animal source foods. Well, you eat a lot. You eat foods in moderation, and you eat a mixture of foods. So you have a very nice diet. So that's an important thing. Unlike other countries that are getting richer, you seem to be better at moderating your food consumption, and people are not so obese and overweight, but that will come, especially with processed foods that are high in calories, high in fats, high in salts. So we want to help look at how to moderate those diets to kind of make sure that, especially for these highly nutritious foods, the perishable foods, how do we keep the prices down so that ordinary people can afford them by having more efficient supply chains and making sure those supply chains are safe.
How do you view the research capacity of Vietnam in terms of agriculture on nutrition and health?
So I think you have a lot of good researchers here and a lot of very competent research institutions. And they certainly understand what the key issues are to work on. Vietnam and other countries in this region, they're developing so quickly. And so their food systems are transforming, the supply chains are transforming, the way people think about food is changing quickly. And so the big key is, how do we implement the things that we know should be working effectively in these systems and adapt them with the rapidly changing environment? The what to do is very well known, but how to do it is something we need to work on.
What does CGIAR plan to do in the coming time in order to promote its cooperation with Vietnamese partners in its operation field?
So I think one of the important things for us is to really listen to what the plans are for government, what are the plans of the different stakeholders in Vietnam, and to see what our contribution can be. And we can bring contributions from a number of different places: research evidence, research ideas. But it only matters if it fits into the systems. Right now, we're very happy that some of our leading institutions working here in our program, CAD and ILRI, are well connected with Vietnamese institutions, and that will give us a good way of understanding what to do and how we can contribute.
As you know, Vietnam is integrating more rapidly into the world economy in various fields, including agriculture. So we hope to export more agricultural products to the international market. So what are your recommendations for Vietnamese agricultural products so that it can better meet the world demand?
For the world demand, this kind of stream of food supply that we talked about, where there's a lot of private companies involved, where you have to meet international standards, I think there's a lot of lessons that you can just apply from the world. And as you're exporting things like shrimp or other agricultural products, also important is then how some of the lessons for food safety, food quality, and improving the efficiency of kind of production, but also very much the cold chains, the logistics, the processing. As your food system transforms, the value of the food is going to be more beyond the farm in processing and cold chains and things and logistics than it's going to be in the production. I'm very confident you can meet those standards.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. John McDermott, for joining us today. Hopefully, with its meaningful activities, the CGIAR and the A4NH program will better ensure healthy lifestyles and healthy diets for Vietnamese people of all ages.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have for this episode of Sharing Vietnam today. For any question, please email sharingvietnam@nevittv.net. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you next time.